Probably the most important hoses under your hood are the ones that transfer coolant. Since coolant is very hot, about 200 degrees, and under pressure, these hoses are prone to failure. A failure in one of these hoses will definitely ruin your day. To avoid the tow truck and the missed meeting, check the radiator and smaller diameter heater hoses on a regular basis. While hoses can fail suddenly, there are usually telltale signs that can help you head off disaster. First, check for softness and swelling. A good hose will be firm, flexible, and resilient. A bad hose will be spongy. For safety's sake, only touch the hoses when the engine is cold. Replace any hose that is soft or bulging. Since oil and grease deteriorate and soften rubber, be sure to wipe down oily hoses and get any oil leaks fixed right away. Also, check hoses for hardening and cracks. Squeeze the hoses, since sometimes that's the only way to get a crack to reveal itself. On hoses that run near hot or moving components, be sure to check for chafing and localized heat damage. This type of damage often hides underneath the hose, so inspect it carefully. When it's time to change a hose, wait until the engine is completely cool. Then drain the cooling system. Be sure to dispose of the coolant properly. Information on draining the cooling system can be found in your Haynes manual. Most hoses on modern vehicles use spring-type hose clamps. To release this kind of clamp, squeeze the ends with a pair of pliers and slide the clamp away from the hose fitting. The hose might be stuck to the fitting. Try twisting it back and forth to break it loose. If that doesn't work, slide a screwdriver under the end of the hose or simply cut it off. When installing the new hose, it's a good idea to replace the spring-type clamps with new. In addition to the cooling system hoses, you'll find a network of smaller hoses running through your engine compartment. Most of these are vacuum hoses that operate fuel and emissions system components. Check these hoses for the same telltale signs as the cooling system hoses. Also look for kinks and softness that will cause the hose to collapse. By carefully inspecting the vacuum hoses, you can sometimes fix a nagging drivability problem. You'll also want to check the fuel lines because a leaky fuel line could result in a fire. Most modern vehicles are fuel injected and use special high-pressure fuel lines with quick connect fittings. If one of these lines requires replacement, a special tool will be required to separate the fittings. When reconnecting the line, make sure it clicks securely into place and be sure to install any safety retainers that were present.